Let's take you back live to that press conference underway in San Francisco.
Unless absolutely necessary for essential needs and also for our, of course, essential services that the city continues to need during what we know has been a very challenging time. We know that this is an evolving situation, as we have said before, and our goal is to make sure that we do everything we can to communicate with the public exactly what's happening on a day-to-day basis. And we know that as an evolving situation, things change, and we need to adapt. And when we adapt, our goal is to make sure that we do what we can to communicate clearly to the public, but also to remind everyone this is about public health and public safety, and that has always taken the forefront of all the decisions that we've made with the advice of some of the most world-renowned public health experts in the country. So today I want to talk about just a few announcements and some adjustments to some of the things that we have been doing because, as we said, the order went into effect midnight today. And so far, so many residents have complied, and we appreciate that. And then we also know that there are more questions, more concerns, more issues, and I hope to address some of those issues today. So I want to start with some additional steps that we've taken to support our business community. We, in addition to a moratorium on residential evictions, thanks to Governor Gavin Newsom, we have the ability and we have issued a directive on commercial evictions as well. And so we wanted to make sure that businesses as well as residents are not who will be impacted, most likely, sadly, due to a loss of income, that the last thing they need is an eviction in the midst of this crisis. And so the fact that we were able to put a moratorium on both residential and commercial evictions in the city will hopefully have an impact on supporting our small business community. So we made that announcement today. This action applies to businesses with a permit to operate in San Francisco with gross receipts up to $25 million. Now, this is in addition to what we've already announced for our business community, including deferring business taxes and licensing fees until next year, February of 2021. We also launched a relief fund where small businesses can receive grant funding for assistance. And we also made it clear that we will continue to support our nonprofit organizations, the nonprofit organizations that serve our city, so that many of those services that are provided to our homeless population, to our senior population, and to our youth can continue to receive support. And we're continuing to work with our philanthropic partners on a particular fund that will provide relief to residents of San Francisco, again, those who are financially impacted by the loss of income due to the coronavirus. I want to once again encourage employers and employees who are impacted to go to the website www.oewd.org/COVID-19. And also, if there are questions and you do not have access to the internet, you can always call 311 if you have any questions. We will continue to do all we can to support our business community. We know that this will have a tremendous impact on our economy here in San Francisco, but throughout the country. And so what we want to at least do is everything we can now to help get people through this challenge. We're also taking additional steps to strengthen our capacity to respond. In talking with Dr. Grant Colfax, who is currently at our Emergency Operations Center, it's clear that we need more capacity in our healthcare system to deal with the potential challenges, including hiring more nurses and healthcare workers. And so today I waived the provisions around hiring rules so that we can hire qualified, registered nurses on the spot. We know that this process typically, unfortunately, through our city bureaucracy can take up to 6 months. So instead of going through that normal process, we will act now, and we will not waste time, and we will get those qualified healthcare workers up and running as quickly as possible. Finally, we received a number of questions regarding parking and cannabis. In terms of parking, the SFMTA will stop issuing tickets related to street sweeping and will waive tickets that were given out today. We understand for people who are quarantined, it may be impossible for them to move their cars. However, for those of you who can move your cars during street cleaning, we ask that you do so. It helps us to continue to keep the streets clean as much as we possibly can. Your full cooperation would be appreciated at this time, but we wanted to be clear that we won't be issuing tickets for street cleaning. In terms of the cannabis dispensaries, the Department of Public Health today clarified that since cannabis has medical uses, dispensaries will be allowed to operate as essential businesses, just as pharmacies are allowed to do. So I wanted to give you all those updates, and at this time I want to ask Jeff Tumlin from the SFMTA to provide some overview and just some updates about what's happening with the SFMTA. I know people had a number of questions around parking, around tickets, around towing, around things related to Muni, and so Mr. Tumlin is here to provide you with an update.